Tanimanani, Dumelang, Molweni, Huyanant, hello, it's the Wednesday and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
Sad news came out this morning. South African music icon Zahara has passed away.
Oh, Christian.
Yeah, it's very sad, but yeah, she's been battling her demons for a while, and unfortunately it came to an end last night after having liver failure. So yeah, there's not much I could say about this, but let's just check out one of these clips here that I picked up on Twitter of some of the things that she was battling and having disputes about, and then you give us your thoughts after that.
Okay.
Nina even niyangithanda fana niyahamba niyoplaga phambi kwezi stations naninika amagama wazo Samro Share Public niye kwezi zethu Universal niye nase TS because wherever TK is no DJ Sbu you go there. If you really care about me fighting alone, I don't have money to pay for the lawyers. My money is sitting there. You know the money that is sitting there can actually even, when I come back, at our village. But you guys, you only intense about what you see on TV. Yes, Sila.
That's true. But you know what?
CJ Sbu akamazi uloliwe. UTK Nciza akamazi uloliwe. Nosinhlanda abamazi uloliwe. Was one ndifumana ndidlala uloliwe esitradweni bengibekela imali. Today they on loliwe.
No, I mean.
So before we get into all of these disputes that she's having, that ultimately led to her being alcoholic and ultimately led to her passing away.
Yeah.
Just take us through what happened when Zahara came onto the scene and
like Zahara firstly took us all by surprise. She came from nowhere, and she just became big, like big. You know that feeling of an overnight sensation type of thing. Like it kind of felt like that, because I remember I was a bit young, but not like super young. I was old enough though to sing along to all of her songs and love them. And I remember my mom also, she actually owned a CD, I got a Zahara, and like we'd play that like everywhere, in the car, everywhere, and everywhere you go they were actually playing Zahara. And her music was beautiful, like beautiful. Her writing ability was just top notch. And she was huge. She was performing here and here. So I before we can even say anything, we just need to understand that Zahara was huge. Like, let's not downplay that. And I don't think it would be uninformed to actually assume that she made a hell of a lot of money, like or rather a lot of money was made off of her at the time. Like, she was huge. Like, you see what we're thinking of Makadzi right now, like Makadzi Bay. I could say Zahara was even a little bit bigger than that.
Zahara was way bigger than that.
Like she was listened to everywhere,
all over the country.
People loved her. You show in any corner, and Zahara music was loved.
So that's the main thing I wanna like say about Zahara, because I wasn't inside like that. I never really listened to her music like that. But you
were aware of how big she was.
The one thing that I know is that when she blew and that first CD came out and Dolly was like the hit single, you heard that everywhere. Like, you heard it everywhere. There's no way you could go where you didn't hear that song. And it was like
in taverns, in everywhere, in high class places, in everywhere.
So to me, just that on its own just tells me that she's much bigger than like Abu Makats, because Makats, even to this day, I don't know, not even one of her songs, unfortunately. But because Makati is more local to Limpopo, she's mainly based there and also in Gauteng. But in KZN, she's not like that. But it was
sorry for the comparison, but
we're just trying to paint the picture.
Makati is what is hip and happening now, so I think she's the best person to kind of compare the bigness to.
But Zahara was just like well known all over the country. So to me, that just made it special. And you can't really put it into words, like how big how much of an impact she made when she just came onto the scene.
She did.
It's like you just had to be there.
She did. You had to experience it. I mean, come on, a bunch were listening to Zahara, like. You'd even cry, like her music will make you cry. Like
apparently, it had that effect.
Yes, it had that effect. Like
very soulful.
Because she, you know why? Her writing ability is so great that she doesn't say things in her music explicitly, but they touch where they need to touch. Like she speaks in a very coded way, but like. You get it, like you get what she's saying, and she speaks on actual situation, and she was good. Like honestly, I don't wanna lie, her writing ability was great.
Yeah, so you had to be there. It's like the best comparison I can make is like most people these days. They become social media viral.
Yes.
Zahara was viral in real life.
Yeah, in real life.
Like you step outside and go viral. Like everywhere you went.
Your neighbor would play Zahara. Opposite would play Zahara. You would play Zahara. They would play Zahara. Everywhere. You shot a taxi would play Zahara.
So that's very rare nowadays. Like for somebody to be like viral and have an impact in real life.
Almost everyone.
So yeah, Zahara.
Almost every household.
And she's undoubtedly like a South African legend, music legend, South African legend in general. And it's really unfortunate that she got into a dispute with her label, and it led to her drinking, and alcoholic, and then that eventually led to her having liver failure. And that eventually led to her passing away. But yeah, let's now
like this happens a lot to people, like this reminds me of even an uncle of mine that I had. Like when I looked at her talking like this, I was like, this is way too familiar. Like our people, they when especially like when they feel like, oh, I'm making it, or oh, this is a great opportunity, and then maybe somebody hinders it or whatever. They just drown themselves in alcohol and just like think about, I have this, I would have been this, I would have been that. And it's like, it's so sad because you see them just wasting away and just getting stuck in that moment. Because now even the way she's talking, first of all, Osmo don't have that money anymore. She's talking like it's still tied up somewhere there. Osmo child, that money gone, finished. Whoever had the money at that time, Iseko, they've moved on to another artist's money right now. So it's quite sad. Why I'm saying is this is because she's stuck in that loop in her mind of that moment. It's still very fresh to her, and you can't blame her because, like, that was a big break that you probably prayed for all your life. You know what I'm saying? And you're trusting these people that they have your best interest because you had nothing before.
Okay, so in terms of the music industry, apparently the music industry is very cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's very exploitative. Labels like to exploit artists a lot. We see this all the time. But to me, I like to take it as like employment, right?
Yeah.
Let me just try paint this analogy.
That's true.
I think
I know what you
as employment, as in like I'm a 9-to-5 guy, right?
Yeah.
So when I sign the contract, I sign the contract to say they pay me X amount every month.
Yes.
Right? My work.
More than that.
My work makes the company millions. It makes them millions.
Yes.
Right? But I'm not entitled to those millions now because I signed the contract saying you guys only have to pay me X amount every month. Right?
I mean, it's not a nice thing, but it is what it is.
So I'm thinking she probably had a deal like that. They call it a 360 deal, where she gets X amount of money, a certain percentage or X amount of money from her sales and all that stuff like that. And then, but when she sees the newspapers with her album sales 20 million, and then she's only getting 500,000. Well, obviously, then she probably felt like she's being cheated.
And of which that's not the case. And it's sad, but what's great now, though, even though it's moving very slowly, is that there are platforms where people can actually just do shit for themselves.
Yeah, so now in this day and age, like many artists are being pushed to be independent. And not rely on labels.
Yes.
Don't sign 360 deals.
Absolutely.
And, like, own your masters, you know, they're pushing all of that because we're tired of seeing like artists being exploited.
Yeah.
Labels are making millions while when are you just getting crumbs, you know?
And people should just be able to rent out shit, like rent out a studio.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
that's what independent artists do.
Yes, rent out a studio. I mean, there are studios where multiple artists go to and use, because now they're gonna tell us, use my studio, R1,000,000. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so things in the music industry have gotten slightly better in terms of percentages that artists get for money and stuff like that, but obviously Zahara signed way back then when 360 deals was still like the main thing for artists. So obviously when she saw that the labels are making millions off of her and she's getting like crumbs, then she started becoming like depressed about it. She started like going to
and obviously seeing artists now, what artists are getting now. Like, these artists are getting, I was bigger than them. You can just imagine, these artists, they have nice places, they stay in nice houses, getting cars and whatever, just making an example, living a nice life. Then you're like, God, I mean, I was bigger than this person. Like, I was bigger than this one. It probably hurts. Like, it probably really hurts when now you barely have this, you barely have that, you barely have this.
So what do you think about, like, now the whole situation and now Zahara's downfall being blamed on Sbu?
If there's anything I've ever done in the music industry, I've contributed in making a lot of artists successful and paid. And the same with my sister, Zahara. We made history together. By the way, I miss you, Bulelo. I miss you. But what I don't like is when she goes out and she says, I owe her money, because you know that's a lie. And if you go down to the books at Universal Music, she actually owes us money and she doesn't know that. Zahara was getting paid 50% royalty rate, and TS Records was getting paid 50%. And it wasn't supposed to be like that. The contract was, she was supposed to get a little bit lesser than that, and the company gets a little bit more. But throughout the Universal career of Zahara's TS Records career, Zahara was getting 50-50. 50, the whole company. 50 as an artist. And when I left the music industry, go start Mofa and Massive Metro, Zahara went on to go start her own company. Same thing with Pro. And my brothers, Brown, may their souls rest in peace. He went to go start a company with Usanele, and she knows that. And she knows that she was a millionaire when we went apart. She had a car, she had an amazing Audi Slata. She had money. She was a millionaire when we went apart. I don't know what went wrong that in 2012, what has happened all the way to 2020, I'm the bad guy now. I'm the one who's chowed people's monies, and it's unfair. Because
what do you think about that?
Well, it's quite a reach, but it's a valid reach. It's a valid reach. But a person she didn't just die, right? She died from what? Liver failure, right? Which is brought upon by alcohol abuse, right? We know that she abused alcohol with reason. Like, sometimes people, when situations force you in a depressed state, you try and find a coping mechanism. Like, it's just we are human beings, we are like that, you know? We find different coping mechanisms. Some will get into like smoking, excessive smoking, maybe excessive smoking of weed. Some will get into drugs. Some will get into alcohol. Some will get like different, or even maybe not substances, but other things, you know, like do something. But the most common one is substances, because substance give a numbing feeling, like that you feel like you're not like, being depressed is a physical feeling. Like, you physically feel that thing. It's not just like you're in a state of mind or like you're just thinking about something. There's a lot of people who are outside of depression, don't understand depression, not understand that it's a feeling. Like, that person is feeling in such a, like, you just want to hide yourself from the world, you just want to cover yourself or whatever, but then at some point, and it hurts, like, inside of you, like, it's a horrible feeling. And it's a horrible feeling to be stuck in every single day, and the problem is looming. It's not going away. Like, your every time you think about your reality is like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have this, I don't have my stuff. I'm just trying to take myself through. Like, these people ruined my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have had so much more and all of this, and I can't take it back. I can't change things. Like, I can't just start afresh and pretend I didn't know you guys and go my own path or whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe there are other stresses as well that has caused. Now it's like you want to forget, you know? Now she ends up drinking, and when she is drinking, she probably feels like she's in control of the situation, and they're not swallowing her. You know what I'm saying? Because you can see every time she's drinking, when she's venting, she's talking about the situation, and that's the effect that alcohol has on a lot of people, particularly people who don't like talking about their problems, like people who die inside with their problems. You can see every time she's talking confidently, she's under the influence. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes habitual. So I do feel like Usbu did force her in a corner where she was.
But
honestly,
this is assuming that Usbu fucked her over. That's assuming Usbu fucked her over.
But like, it's hard to believe not, unless Usbu is gonna come out and be like, I was bamboozled again, and have receipts to show that Sony or whoever bamboozled him or them as test records. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can't deny that Zahara made a lot of money.
Yeah, but then you don't know the contract she signed.
But
the problem is, you see, that's the problem.
But he must be upfront and own it. Good, he's a crook.
How's the crookery when you signed? You signed.
Let's leave that. Let's leave the good you signed.
You don't wanna put accountability on people now.
No,
you're given a contract and you have.
But just because my contract says, like, come on.
You can read it. They give you the time to read it, check it over, and be like, are you happy with the numbers? Once you're happy, cool.
But you made me sign Nilabile. Like, think about it.
That's the exploitative part.
I didn't have 15,000, and now I'm gonna be grateful for that 15,000 most, because when I didn't even have 100 rand to my name. Mm-hmm. You understand? So as a human being, when I can't you see what you're wrong? Like, can't you see that you are wrong?
But so for me, why I'm saying it, me personally, I'm not assuming that Sbo like fucked her over the way she thinks he fucked her over.
But I'm still trying to make sense of what other scenario could have been.
It's because even though they gave her like a very small portion of the total amount of money she actually made, right? She's able to buy a nice big mansion wherever she was staying.
Yeah.
Right? She was able to live comfortably for a while. And I think once the money started to run out, and I think once she started to see how much money she actually made, that's when she got mad. But in the beginning, when everything was all good and stuff like that, she was living nice.
She was content with her mansion.
She was living good. She was living nice.
Yeah.
And then now when the money is finishing, and now I
do kind of. I'm not saying like entirely it's on smooth. Like there is some degree also of Ukuba irresponsible from her side. I think like. Not being responsible with the money that you do have. Now I blew it I blew it. But I do still feel like also she's upset with reason as well. Especially when I'm hearing about the 15,000 situation, that one is making me feel like because she's gonna be grateful because I know you 15,000 but you are unfair. You can't give me 15,000 of my money if when you are getting maybe 1 million rand. I'm making an example. You are exploiting me, most.
But what if that's in the contract?
I don't care about the contract, I don't care about the contract. When as a human being, what is that telling you? Why, like, so you don't value me like that? Those are the things that's gonna play in my mind, So you think of me like that, like that's the little value that I have after I put in my heart, my sweat, my tears, my blood.
And you're living in a nice house. It's not like you're in the street.
Oh my God.
Are you in the street? No. You're living in a nice house.
But that's besides the point.
That is the point. I need to keep it straight in. I'll put you in a nice house.
Oh my God, yeah.
what's the problem, you know? So me, I'm also looking at it like that. It's not like
yeah, because you could be writing your music and then
it's not like who's this, bro? Who's this? Who's this, man? That nigga that just went, who's big now he's like skinny now.
Oh, something so.
Yeah, it's not like him. That nigga doesn't have shit even now. But he was making hits back there in about for these niggas. But now he doesn't. Now he's walking around the street. Doesn't have he doesn't have anything to his name.
Yeah.
At least Zahara had a nice big crib. She probably had a few cars here and there. She was living comfortably for a while, so she wasn't like completely exploited.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's just, I think it just goes down to the contract she signed. Yeah. And then when she realized she could have been making way more, that's when she was mad about it. You know? It's just unfortunate that Sbu never like explained all of this while she was still alive and tried to reconcile with her, because now he looks like the bad guy for her. He's like the direct cause of her death and her suffering and all that kind of stuff like that. And that's going to be very difficult to come back from.
Back from.
Because now any explanation he gives now, it's going to be like, you only do it.
And why were you not saying anything when she was alive?
Yeah,
like she was talking, why didn't you come with your receipts and stuff?
So that's very unfortunate that Sbu and Zahara never like reconciled, never sorted out their differences. It's very unfortunate that she passed away.
Is.
Last night as well, there was like this big drama as well that SABC announced her death prematurely. Like I think it was SABC and a few other like
before what? Before family and stuff, or what?
Before the family confirmed.
Before it was a confirmation of her death.
Yeah. It was very bad. So publications as well, this thing of rushing out to be first to deliver the news causes problems like this, because now you might be wrong, and
exactly
you must give the family like that respect to like make that announcement themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
these people are ruthless. I'm telling you, publications are ruthless these days. Just because you want to be first.
My final thoughts on this is that it's just so unfortunate that there's this trend, like with especially extremely talented musicians, that they tend to pass away at a very young age. Yeah. Prematurely.
Because that life is stressful.
So the music industry and entertainment business in general is very stressful. And you see like a lot of talented artists like
because it just milks over you.
I'm just thinking about Abo Brenda. Passed away because of drugs.
Yep.
It
all goes the same.
Lucky too. Even AK, his life just came to an end because of the lifestyle he was living, and he fucked with the wrong people. See, all that stuff just making me realize that the music industry is like,
I know,
it's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not for the faint-hearted.
And it will get to you.
And it will chew you up and spit you out. And when it does spit you out, like people, when you lose that, like you wake up today and you're famous and people love you everywhere, then boom, for whatever reason you fall. I can't imagine what that drop is. Or
you
like
probably feel
ends.
you probably feel like a ghost, You feel like you're dead, but you're still alive.
But you're still alive.
Because people are not seeing you the same way.
Are not seeing you the same way.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that a lot of our talented artists, their lives like ending very shortly because of the music industry, entertainment industry, and all that comes with that. And it's unfortunate that Zahara lost her life in this manner. And yeah, it's very sad. South Africa is going to mourn her. We're probably going to have a memorial service later in the week. People are going to be telling their stories about how Zahara affected them. And yeah, Zahara was a great artist. She was a living legend. And yeah, I also feel sorry for Sbu for he's taking the heat, obviously, for all of this. Even though he probably feels like it wasn't his fault. He probably tried to help her in any way that he could, Yeah. But now he's the fall guy for this, and
absolutely.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's a very sad situation, but yeah.
I mean, I do feel sorry for him. Like this would make me depressed now as well. And then
yeah, unfortunately it is what it is, man. Rest in peace to a legend, rest in peace to Zahara. Condolences to her family and her friends and fans. And yeah, just bump her music, remember her, reminisce.
Yeah.
You guys let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know, guys.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.